It's alive. Oh man, it's starting to like, I'm like, there's no reason to do this unless I want to do it. But I'm like, this is why I don't do it. It's because it's almost easy. I mean, if you're in charge of yourself. I am the worst best boss for me. I'm not the best boss for me. My self-hate makes me bad at being a boss for me. I would need a boss that believed in me more. Although, if you're not going to believe in yourself, you just got to, like, intend to lose life. I don't really mean that. I just, like, sometimes I just feel so thwarted by self-help where it's like, you know, you're never going to have anything if you don't love yourself. And I got to say, like, to be honest, I don't think I'm ever going to fucking love myself. I might like myself. I might manage some form of tolerability for myself, but if I ever don't wake up, like, I'm even fine at one point being in hell. If it just means like this kind of is, but it's not. It's so dope, and I'm so grateful. I got my bow. I made it. It took me forever. I clipped it in, but it took me forever to fucking clip it in. I would say girl shit, but I wouldn't want to put that on any, like, a whole fucking half of the population. It's just Amy shit. I just take time on bows. I take time on bows. I don't take time on bowing, so if I ever get taken to a foreign country and they expect it, I'll probably die off of a poor curtsy. Hell yeah. I got some questions today. And so I'm going to start answering them, but I got to go quick, so. I don't do anything quick. I feel like if I was a guy, I'd be really winning with that, but I'm a girl, so I should be like doing 25 things and then raising babies. And I'm like barren. Alright, what's the first thing you remember as a kid? Alright, well, let me try and think of a first. So one of the things that I do have is weirdly specific early memories, but like in fragments. So I talked about being alone in the car, but like not being afraid because I knew someone would come to get me out of the car. I talked about my parents' cat when I realized that the cat that like hung out around our house was actually like our cat, and it even would act. Once I realized that would act to me like it was our cat, like it would let me pet it. In fact, it even like cuddle with me. And then the day I thought, I really love this cat, I want to carry it, and I picked it up, and I know it was an early memory because this cat was as big as me, and I like picked her up, and I was just like, I'm gonna drag her across the floor because I love this fluffy cat. And she scratched me, and then I was sad because I felt like I hurt the cat's feelings. Or at least, like, definitely knew I did something the cat didn't like, and it made me sad because I loved the cat. And I loved how the cat loved us. Because I saw that, I think I remember seeing the cat be with my mom and my dad, and then I realized it was my cat, too. I was probably 3. So that's a pretty fucking early memory. Question answered. It's a repeat, but who cares? That's all we be doing. Repeating, repeating, repeating. That's just be people. That's okay. So it's great. What was your childhood bedroom like? It was this place. It was very different. This room has gone through 3 main changes. As childhood, and I was never going to change my bed, but when I turned 14, or never changed my fucking whole ass room. But when I turned 14, my parents decided for my birthday to redo my room. So then it was redone, and then, 14 on through there, that was technically these 4 walls are the same, but the amount of rainbow increase has really helped. It would almost be hard to be in this room now, with some of the things that I went through it before it was the rainbow room. I lost my virginity. It wasn't hot. It was painful and gross. I lost that in this room. Technically these 4 walls, although the rainbow room's a new thing. I almost died of an overdose in this room. I threw up on that wall over there a whole bunch, just like water and shit. When I came back into this room, it was not like, came back in, let's say as a single girl, because I spent a lot of time not single, or just very briefly single, which I don't know. Maybe that's why I deserve to spend in my entire 30s fucking single so far. These 30s are creeping. I'm like getting into the mids. I'm getting fair. I am in the mid 30s. Early at best. Get that dirty. It doesn't hurt, but I don't want to get it dirty. Because if you get it dirty, I might get infected and it won't be sparkly. But when I was realizing what I thought my life was, which was the happiest I would ever be, which was like at a point where I didn't know. I was like, I know I have like a lot of love in my life, and I know I've conquered so much fear. I'm a little exhausted off of it. I try to kill myself like over there. It's all different too. I have a different, the whole room is a closet. But yeah, my childhood bedroom, so that's, we're talking about before I had a redone at 14, was, it sufficed. There was dolls I would keep in there because I had them as gifts, but they always creeped me out. I actually had a little, even, this is kind of funny, a little like, how would you call it, like a, what's the thing you like sacrifice your relatives at? You like, I guess a little altar sort of thing, and you put like shit. I had like a little, I literally had myself a little altar, like 6 to 12 in my room. I probably tore it all down around 11 when I was like, people die. Which is kind of what I was thinking too, I guess. I have the altar because people die and honor them. But I had someone real close to me die, and it was just like, you know what? The amount I'm not getting from them here on earth is not enough for me to like be stoked on their death. Rather than ancestors honoring me, is like, I wish my grandpa was still here. I was like, I wish cancer would kill me that fast. Yeah, that was my childhood bedroom. I wish cancer would kill me this fast. What did your, were you more into dolls, bugs, or chaos as a child? Bugs. I was most into bugs. I actually preferred a nice calm thing. I wanted, especially like my parents to feel okay. I wanted the people, my friends to feel okay. I wanted the people around me to feel good. And then I wanted to hear stories about how like, so this is crazy. I don't even know if this is real. But apparently, from some of the stories I was told by my dad and stuff, well, and I know my dad's kind of a little bit of a fucking liar when it comes to bugs. No offense, Dad. I love you, and I'm so grateful I have a good dad. But he told me that feeding snails poison was feeding snails. And he'd be like, do you want to feed the snails? And I'd be like, yeah, I love snails. So I'm responsible for massive amounts of snail deaths. And no shit. No, I'm not going to say that. But I used to, so you could buy ladybugs at like, I don't know, Home Depot and stuff. That was another thing. I would go with my dad to Home Depot to say hi to the owl that scared away other birds, and to try to convince him to buy, I guess, ladybugs for pets. But the reason that you buy these ladybugs and not, let's say, other snails and things is because, so my dad had like a rose garden, and like, my dad had a rose bush, like maybe 2. Like I've seen a rose garden. It wasn't a garden, but he had like a couple rose bushes. They were so cool. But they weren't a rose garden. He had a couple rose bushes, and aphids like to eat roses. I don't know. This all might be bullshit. This might be my dad told me Santa was real. This all might be bullshit. But my dad told me that aphids love to eat roses. Okay. Also, aphids, like anything does, shit after eating, and aphid shit is delicious to ants. This all could be fucking bullshit. I don't know. So ants will actually bring an aphid up onto a plant so that it could poop, and the ant could later come back and harvest said poop. So where did the ladybugs come in? I'll let you know. It's one of my favorite stories when I was a kid. So the ladybugs, I don't know about them eating ants, but ladybugs like to eat aphids. So if you get ladybugs, they'll eat all the aphids. I don't know if any of this is true. But bugs. I liked bugs more than chaos or dolls as a kid. I battled a lot with dolls because of my love for horror movies. And chaos is not something I actually like. I want to find peace and love. But if we have to tear some shit up to get there, then, like, you know, I'm going to maintain peace throughout the chaos that's necessary to do what needs to be done for full love. I try to check in with what created me to see how much chaos it is. There's a lot of parts of me existing. It felt like chaos, but it might just be me feeling like chaos. It's always tricky to be people. It's why it's good not to judge. We basically live in two realms. And I'm fucking out of my mind. What's the next question? What do your parents do for work? Or what did they do for work when you were growing up? They're retired now, and I'm actually working on a joke for them being retired, which is clunky, but I don't know, I'm trying to get across what I have found funny for them being retired, which is that they both started to smoke weed, so they both got way cooler. Like, they both got way cooler when they retired. And like I've been smoking weed a long time, but I'm like kind of a lazy weed smoker, and I've also kind of been a green digger, so it's like, ooh, dating for quality and quantity of pot, not man. So like, people roll my shit. Both my parents, including my mom, who definitely has not, even though she's been alive longer than me, has not smoked weed as long as me, are both like my mom's like way better at rolling and shit than I am, and so I have like, the joke is kind of like on that, and then also on them being more into pop culture. So I would be like, all right, what the fuck's going on with like, oh, Drake and Kendrick, and they would like explain because they had time to keep up with it. So they're retired. But what they did when they worked is that they're such a cute couple. My dad was a foreman for Rayleigh's, the distribution center, so like in like a warehouse. And my mom was a third grade teacher, at one point a kindergarten teacher. My dad paid for my mom's college. My mom wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, and my dad was like, we might need a double income. Damn it. Like, do you really need that triple income now? So my dad paid for my mom to go to college because my mom wanted to be a mom, but then she thought, well, she loved kids and she was always a natural with them. She ended up going to school to be a teacher, and she was a damn good teacher. Way better than I ever had I could work hard to be good, but the natural ability to be. I could work hard to be a good one, but like I didn't have the naturalness of her. One of the things that my mom did that I think about to this day so I didn't do comedy teaching at the same time. There's no way I would have been able to fit it in the way that I may be autistic or whatever, but like the way, I don't know how to describe it, the way I will latch on to things. But my mom used to do, hold on. Alright, I'm kind of late, but I'm going to want to do eyeshadow anyway, so I might not come back after it because I'm going to go quick. But my mom would do, so my mom was a third grade teacher, but she used to leave her classroom open during her recesses and breaks, which it's so hard, but just such a natural fucking teacher thing. Like, the people who teach, sometimes they're just so ready to give every amount of their health and well-being to make sure that, like, future goes okay. She would do open mic in her classroom, but it was mixed open mic. So she had, like a fucking couple microphones and like a speaker. And so kids would come in, they would sometimes read from joke books or do their own jokes, or tell jokes they remembered. It wasn't like open mic always like that. I'll say what the kids like to do the most is fucking sing. Maybe a group of them would want to do a dance. Like, maybe you'd have a skit, but mostly a lot of them were all ready to sing. But I think it was a dope thing for her to do. Open mic, kid mic at recess. And give up her break to do it too. Because that's insane. I did that shit too as a teacher, but I'll tell you, it's not worth it. No one ever cares. I might be back.